Ah, where are you playing Honda? Only experts use Honda. Only experts. K-Nim's comment made it popular to say Honda is for experts. Let's analyze this only experts play Honda idea in Street Fighter 2 Dash Turbo. Honda is powerful, but without a good grasp of his frames, you can be easily countered. Nowadays, he's truly a character for experts. Honda is also known to have a very advantageous position against almost every character except Ryu and Ken. Now, let's take a detailed look at Honda. Honda has the best performance in everything, from basic moves to special techniques and throws. Let's begin with Honda's throws, which were the most frustrating to face. There are 3 types of throws, and the first one is the heavy kick throw. If you shake the lever and mash the buttons, you can deal more hits. However, as shown in the video, if you perform a jump attack immediately after the throw ends, your opponent can't use an invincible move then. This technique works on all characters, so if you don't know how to counter it, you'll have no choice but to get hit. I'll explain how to counter it after I finish explaining the next throw. Next is the strong punch throw. This is also a choking technique, just like the strong kick throw. However, the strong punch throw can put huge pressure on some characters. The specific characters are Chun-Li, Guile, Dhalsim, and Vega. After a strong punch, using a jumping medium kick causes the characters to overlap, making them hard to distinguish. This throw is dangerous because it allows a full combo follow-up. If you get caught by this once, you can pretty much consider the game over. Next, let's see how to respond if you're caught in a chokehold. First, when caught in this chokehold, guard against the jump attack before responding. After guarding, the first method is to use an invincible move. The second method is to try a grab attack after guarding, but this one seems to depend on luck. Ryu, Ken, and Sagat can safely escape using a dragon punch. But let's find out why Guile, who has the best anti-air move, was excluded. Guile has to crouch and charge in order to use his somersault just like now. But in fighting games, jump attacks also have overhead properties, so you have to block them standing up. When caught by a throw, you must rapidly wiggle the stick and mash buttons to escape, leaving no time to crouch. Even if you crouch, you'll still get hit by a jump attack. But if you're sure that Honda will keep going for throw attacks, you can crouch in advance, take a hit from the jump attack, and then use the somersault. If Honda backs away instead of attacking, Guile will take heavy damage, correct? So if Guile gets caught by Honda's hold, he's at a big disadvantage. Next is Honda's medium punch throw. This is the only one of Honda's throws that can knock the opponent down. Unlike the hold, its fixed damage is also quite strong. That wraps up the section on Honda's throws. Next, I'll explain a special move that only Turbo's Honda has. If you hold the direction key while close and press the medium kick, he'll hit with his knee. It's hard to use alone, but after a low cross-up attack, it can combo. If you pull off this combo, there's a very high chance your opponent will be stunned. Sometimes, the opponent can't react and is immediately knocked out. Next, let's take a look at Honda's devilish basic kick attacks. Just by looking at it, you can see that except for Dhalsim, it has the longest reach. Although this is a standing light kick, not a crouching attack, it still knocks down the opponent on hit. However, with the light kick, unlike how it looks, you actually have to be somewhat close to make it hit. As you can see now, even though the graphics overlap with Ryu, it doesn't actually hit. However, even if the frame is a bit longer, using the zoom kick, which has a longer reach, solves this problem. You can cover the distance that the light kick couldn't reach with the zoom kick. Even the zoom kick I'm using now is overlapping with Ryu, but it's not hitting. Next, increase the reach further with the heavy kick. With this performance, he's a strong character even in field battles. Then, let's demonstrate this with an example of an actual basic move fight. Let's control Honda using Ryu's longest normal, the crouching kick. Putting aside the damage, since only Ryu gets knocked down, the situation afterward favors Honda. Facing Honda means enduring a brutal battle. Do some people still think Honda is weak? Now I'll demonstrate Daigongryong's basic moves. The strong punches I'm using now are probably ones you've all taken many times, even against the central processing unit. For Honda's jump attacks that land close, I counter all of them with Moondan Muhyung. You can handle cross-up attacks with a single button, making it extremely powerful. That's why in Japan, it's also called Excalibur. However, Excalibur's weakness is long-range jump attacks. The central processing unit can hit it with perfect timing, but since we can't do that, we can counter long-range jump attacks with another basic move. It's the Anja Zoom Kick that I'm showing you right now. Honda's Anja Zoom Kick only has an attack hitbox on the leg, and it doesn't hit low. But even Honda's overpowered basic moves have one clear weakness. That's the cancel nearly every character can use except Honda. Usually, canceling means skipping the motion after a basic move to use a special move, but no matter how much I try to do a super headbutt after a basic move, it just won't activate. Honda's weakness, concealed by his strong basic moves, is critical in fighting games, but I believe my earlier points addressed this. I'll explain Honda's actions now. First is Honda's signature move, 100 Hand Slap, also known as Tamiri. Even Shichuk next door and Poppy could use it, just mash the button, it's that simple. You can now move while using the 100 Hand Slap from the cover, and you can use it infinitely. However, it's quite difficult to land this move in regular field battles, and even if you do, you might take damage if someone interrupts with an invincible move in the middle. Actually, the essence of this move is to force the opponent to guard. The guard damage is quite high, and once they start guarding, they have to keep guarding until they move away. From Honda's view, it's a safe, one-sided way to reduce the opponent's health. To safely chip away at their health, activate it from a distance where your light punch nearly misses. Next is Honda's other signature, the Super Headbutt. Hold the back key, then move forward and punch to activate. It's mainly used to close distance from afar, and even if blocked, it pushes opponents back, making counterattacks difficult. There's another crazy thing, after you activate the move, you're invincible until the attack actually comes out. Although it's a forward-moving move, it also works as an anti-air attack. When you watch it in slow motion, you can really see just how powerful it is. The next move was introduced in Turbo, and it's called the Super Backdrop. It attacks both when rising and when coming down with the hips, so it's used as an anti-air move. It also has invincibility frames when activated, so you can use that invincibility to go through projectiles and attack. It's somewhat like Chick Chicky's anti-air move, but it can sometimes cause a stun in certain situations. If you're player 1, go to player 2's position and use it near the opponent. However, this secret technique only works on Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, not every character. Also, since you can be hit even while in a crouching motion, you shouldn't let your guard down. Now, let's review Honda's basic combos. CPS causes, bugs, and forced links. Honda doesn't need any of it. If you do a jump, heavy attack, medium punch, and crouching heavy punch, there's a high chance your opponent will be stunned. Did you see Ryu get stunned by just 3 basic moves? There's absolutely no special technique needed to link from medium punch to heavy punch. However, if you try to go for a heavy punch right after a medium punch, you might end up with a push attack, so the key is to press the button at the right timing. That's all I prepared. Did you enjoy it? When I was enjoying Spot 2 Nep, Honda beat me too, just like Cain Nim. After looking into it, I found out that this is really a character you can't help but get hit by if you don't know about them. Cain Nim from the childcare department said only top players use Honda, but I disagree. Honda seems like a character you just have to defeat before they beat you. The video you're watching right now is the Spot 2 Honda ending. That's all, this has been Didal. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.